Well, I'm going to start this video by apologizing. I'm doing all the work myself, so it might be a little choppy and I might have to move things around and pause for just a minute as I do stuff. So apologize in advance for that. But if you'll notice here, we have a standard tube that comes with the roll sizer, and that will still be needed for rifle brass and some of the larger pistol brass, but it's not needed for the 9mm or the 223. You can see there's my 223 setup, and I've got a 1/2 inch inside diameter hose there, and that thing has probably had about 1 million or so rounds put through it, so it's probably about time for a new one. Anyhow, let's bring this guy back down here. So the first thing we're going to do, I sent you a hose, and I sent you a hose clamp, and I sent you a gray hose fitting. So you just take the clamp, put the clamp on the hose, put the little fitting in, there you go. Okay. Since we're doing 9mm, we don't need the big hose. All right, just put that in like normal. All right, now let's zoom in down here a little bit. Okay, so first things first, let me roll this guy around here a little bit, and we're going to talk about this little screw right here. Take that screw out, because we're going to put on what I call a dampener, or you could call it a silencer, whatever. We're all used to the typical roll sizer sound, right? Yep. Now, made this dampener. You've got a couple in there. All right. This guy right here. So just take the screw. If you notice too, I stopped in such a way that the roll sizer head is that pusher head is kind of back. Just allows me to run that in behind there. It just cinch it down tight. You don't have to crank it really. And now let's hear it. There you go. All right. Now, I've already pre-loosened these guys. Didn't think that you'd want to sit and watch me just undo screws, but okay. Now, there are two styles of pusher heads. There's the new style with the longer throw and the old style with the shorter throw. I have the old style still. It makes a difference. Now, I wasn't about to try and sell somebody two different types of drop tube assemblies, so all you've got to do if you've got the old style head is you just need to take this spring and just move it out a little ways. Not much. I think I've got it out, maybe moved out 1/8 of an inch. And that increases that throw enough that it'll push these through. Otherwise, it won't. They'll get hung up. So once again, if you got the old style head, you want to move that spring out of that pusher head a little ways, about 1/8 of an inch or so. There's also a little bit of play in these holes. Not much, but there's a little tiny bit. So you can do a little fine tuning. And then this is going to be necessarily difficult to get in, because I'm going to show you this too. I've already pre-cut this. The tube will be longer, but you want to pre-cut it right to where that starts to drop in, okay? And then push it all the way down, okay? All right, now I've got just a handful of brass. Now I will recommend you do one thing. Oh, darn it. There we go. I like to stop it so that the thumb is underneath there, because what you're going to find is once in a while that first brass will tip over when it comes down, because it hits so hard that it bounces and it'll tip over, and you don't want that. So I either hold that pusher thumb underneath there, or I just stop it where it's, you know, kind of the spring's kind of holding it up there, and that little thumb's underneath, and that'll stop that from happening. And I'm just going to throw in about 10 or so. Okay. Okay, let's move this guy off here. Now, let's go ahead and start this thing up. I'll back this up a little bit. All right. And I didn't put too many in there. And then I just usually give the head a little flick. It kind of gets things moving. Also, kind of just throw them in there. And there they are coming out. So that's the spring I was telling you about. Right there you can see I moved that spring out about 1/8 of an inch because I got the shorter throw head. Hope this helps.